Okay, so acting can take many forms. So in our family we have an agent, and through the agent you can get work on TV or radio. You can do corporate entertainment that can involve ads or short films, training DVDs, a whole lot of things. And then sometimes you decide to do things for students in that area, so you do a freebie for them, you act in their short film, something like that. It also can involve working for larger live acting companies where you might do impersonating, roving characters. I've done Kath and Kim, I've done Sybil as part of a Fawlty Towers show, all those sorts of things. It can even be part of a stand-up comedy that's part of a segment that you're delivering in another area. So for instance, I do stand-up comedy on sex and relationships. Some of you may have seen some of those and lived to tell the tale. So that's just some of the variety that you can do in that sort of area. There is so much potential in acting. Acting is a big picture, it's a big story. And when you take to a stage or to a film set, you're engaging in something that's bigger than you, and you're choosing to work with a team of people to tell that big story, which in turn reflects God's big story. And you have the potential to get below the surface, to unpack things, to look at the deeper understandings of life. And then to challenge people, to say, all right, I'm going to take you out of this moment in time and put you in a space where you can rethink your attitudes and your opinions and look at things that ultimately might separate you from living the good life, the life that God wants us to live. So that might take the form of looking at barriers to prejudice and fear and all those things that short-circuit us as living as successful human beings. So when you become part of that, you become suddenly part of a moment that's larger than life. And you draw other people into that moment and you look to change them. But what people sometimes don't get is sometimes you are acting a part that isn't you. That's why it's called acting. So you may play the baddie. And sometimes you feel you should put a disclaimer up going, okay, sort of the opinions and expressions of the character are not necessarily the opinions and expressions of the person acting the character. So how does that look like for me? There are certain things I won't do, and when people book me, they know that there are certain places I won't go. For instance, I won't smoke. But basically what it comes down to, and this is in every vocation, is if it causes you to stumble, don't do it. Now, some people can be caused to stumble just by walking into an office situation and there's someone there of the opposite gender and they're there in the room by themselves with them. And that is enough to cause them to stumble. Whereas you can have someone on a film set who's completely comfortable being involved in quite a passionate embrace with someone because they know it's an act and it doesn't cause them to stumble. So I hope you're getting the difference there. So as a Christian actor, I think my acting involves reflecting God's creativity. We're made in the image of God. God could have made one tree and one dog and one human, but in his abounding creativity and endless expression of variety and interest and he's not an off-the-rack God. God does things that surprise us at every turn, and that's what acting is like. It opens up all those possibilities to reflect the marvellous creativity of our Creator God. And that's something I really appreciate, is being able to use mind, body and soul together in a really healthy way, because that is all good.